I faked being a wine expert on a first date. Now I am judging a regional wine competition this weekend. It started with a single impulsive lie on a dating app. His profile said he was a sommelier at an upscale restaurant, and when we matched, I panicked and wrote, "Fellow wine professional here." I'd worked as a waitress for years, so I figured I could fake minimal wine knowledge for one date. When Jake and I met at a Drosty wine bar, I quickly realized I was out of my depth. He wasn't just a server who poured wine on us, he was an actual certified sommelier studying for his advanced dissertation. So what treat do you specialize in? He asked after we'd ordered. I took a wild guess based on a documentary I'd half-watched. Primarily French regions, but I've been exploring Spanish varieties lately. I could tell red from white and dry from sweet, but that was about it. He lit up. "That's my focus too. What's your take on the 2016 Bordeaux vintage?" For the next 2 hours, I nodded thoughtfully while he talked about tannins and terroir, occasionally repeating phrases he'd said earlier, but switching a few words. When he described a wine as having notes of blackberry with a tobacco finish, I'd counter with yes, but don't you catch that hint of leather behind a dark fruit? Somehow, my vague comments came across as culprit. The date ended with a kiss and plans to meet again, which left me with a problem. I really liked him, but I need to come clean about not knowing Cabernet from Chardonnay. Before our second date, I panicked, studied wine basics on YouTube. I learned enough terminology to keep up my charade through dinner, where he seemed impressed by my understated approach to wine analysis. The third date found us at his place, where he opened an extensive bottle and asked for my professional assessment. I swirled, sniffed, and took a sip, like I'd seen in videos. One high said, "Buying time." Here's an interesting complexity here. I described what I actually tasted, berries. Something woody, a bit of spice, using the terms I'd memorized. Jake stared at me with genuine admiration. "That's exactly right. That's practically the tasting note from Wine Dictator verbatim." Somehow, I'd accidentally described the wine correctly. Was it luck? Or maybe wine descriptions are vague enough that confidence sells more than accuracy. Our relationship progressed and my wine knowledge became our connection. I started attending tastings with him where I'd repeatedly stay quiet until others spoke, then rephrase their observations, addicted dots, read articles, and watched every wine documentary available. Jake marveled at my intonation, palate, and unpretentious expertise. 6 months into dating, Jake's boss invited us to dinner. Mr. Reynolds owned 5 restaurants and was a major figure in the local food scene. Throughout the meal, I contributed just enough to the wine conversation to seem knowledgeable without exposing myself. As dessert arrived, Mr. Reynolds turned to me. "Jake tells me you'll have quite the exceptional palate. We're hosting a regional wine competition next month and lost the judge due to scheduling conflicts. Would you consider filling in? It's mostly local wineries, nothing too bester, but we need someone with experience." Jake beamed at me from across the table. I opened my mouth to confess everything, was the lie, the months of deception, my complete lack of qualifications. "She'd be perfect," Jake said proudly. "She has the most honest approach to wine I've ever encountered." Mr. Reynolds nodded. "Excellent, I'll email you the details tomorrow." That was 3 weeks ago. The competition is this Saturday. I've been studying like a med student before finals, sleeping only 4 hours a night. My apartment is filled with wine bottles and flashcards. I've spent money I don't have on private tasting lessons. I've developed a genuine appreciation for wine differences I couldn't perceive before. Yesterday, Jake helped me practice wine tasting. I correctly identified 4 out of 5 wines in this region, grape variety, and approximate vintage. He hugged me and said, "This is why I fell for you. Your passion for wine matches mine." The irony is, he's right. I've actually developed a passion for wine, born entirely from a desperate attempt to maintain a lie that spiraled beyond my control. The competition is in 2 days. Part of me wants to come clean before I embarrass myself publicly, but another part wonders if I've learned enough to fool actual experts. Am I still really faking it? Maybe the strangest lies are the ones that eventually turn into